Cricket presents the warm-up. Hey everybody, I'm Neil Beasley and it's the playoffs. Week 1 of the playoffs. We got to get you warmed up for some great Texas high school football playoff action. It's playoff time in the Metroplex, and the long 6-week journey to become a state champion has begun. Let's preview some of the key playoff matchups in the lineup. Prosper is visiting Coppell on Friday night, and that has the eyes of Texas upon them. Prosper took a tough loss to Allen to lose the 6-6A district championship, and because of it, they get a tough first-round matchup with the Cowboys. Baylor commit Edward Griffin has thrown for 38 touchdowns and just 2 picks, while passing for over 2,800 yards. Just a magnificent senior season, and he's part of a formidable 3-man ground attack as well. Amarian Mbakwe and Josh Locke have joined Griffin for more than 1,500 yards and 21 touchdowns as the Cowboy offense has been deadly. Prosper can be explosive on offense as well, as the Eagles have one of the best offensive lines in the state. They've given Braden Blueitt time to throw for over 2,300 yards and 26 touchdowns. Don't sleep on the Eagles' run game either. Leo Anguiano is a home run ready to happen as he's closing in on a 1,000-yard season himself. This matchup is one you'd likely see in a regional final, but we get it in Week 1 of the playoffs instead. Defending 4A state champion Anna gets their 5A playoff run started with a game against 8-2 Colleyville Heritage. Not a good opponent to face when you're looking to ease into the postseason. Colleyville has found a way to keep winning despite a season-ending injury to star receiver Braden Blueitt. Heritage has won 7 of their last 8, and their only loss in that span was a 1-score game to first-place Argyle. No one jumps off the stat page really for the Panthers, but they keep winning by making plays when they need to, whether that's on offense or defense. That'll have to continue against Anna, who's an offensive juggernaut. The Coyotes are led by dual threat Zion Williams. He's behind center, and then the strong running attack of Edward Chumley. Say Gentry has been a great addition to their secondary since transferring over from McKinney. Anna loves to score points. They've tallied 50 or more points in 6 games this year, so Colleyville will have to step it up defensively. If seeing big offensive numbers is your bag, then Ellis Stadium in Irving is the place to be Friday night. Arlington is taking on Richardson Pierce in what promises to be offensive fireworks. Arlington made the postseason by crushing Arlington Martin and knocking the Warriors out of the playoffs for the first time since 2005. Keep your eyes on Isaiah Robertson for the Colts. He's the definition of an athlete. The SMU commit has 56 catches as a wide receiver. He's also run for almost 600 yards. The Pierce defense will have to keep eyes on Robertson at all times to slow down this Arlington attack. Meanwhile, Pierce averages 47 points per game as their offense is clicking. Presley Harper has thrown for 3,200 yards and 36 touchdowns through 10 games. But the guy who you need to have eyes on at all times is Andrew Casagrande. The senior is a 1,000-yard rusher, but when he drifts out of the backfield, he's a major threat in the passing game. Expect this game to be up in the 40s, and I, for one, am here for it.
Freeflation leaves economists baffled. Getting more for less? It's true for those who switch to Cricket and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket. Inside High School Sports is brought to you by Whataburger, just like you like it. And by Parker University. Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today.
Our Inside High School insider, Matt Diggs, gives us his thoughts on some of the key matchups in the first week of the postseason in the picks.
Fall gods have blessed us with 3 top 10 matchups in 6A Division I. I'm the professor, and these are the picks. We got Coppell versus Prosper in an unexpected first-round game. Eddie Griffin has been fantastic all year. Prosper's got those 6 offensive linemen who are all going to D1 schools. I think the big question for me is who is going to be the playmaker for Prosper. If Prosper can step up and make a couple of big offensive plays, I think they can win the game. But Coppell, we know they've got the playmakers in Eddie Griffin. I trust that. But Coppell's got to play a full 48 minutes because you look at several of Coppell's games this year, they took took a half off. You can't do that against a team as good as Prosper, whose only 2 losses this year are to Allen and Austin Westlake. Speaking of Allen, they're going to take on Louisville in a rematch of a game that was a big game last year in the first round of the playoffs. It's going to be a big game in the first round of the playoffs this year. Beating Denton Guyer for Louisville was a signature win. They are looking great. Tennell Hill is running the ball very well, and that is the formula if you're going to be competitive against Allen. Is you have to run the ball, you have to play good defense. That's what they've done for the last 3 weeks. But Allen is a team I trust more. They've got a couple of big play threats. If Louisville can neutralize those big play threats, I think Louisville can pull a little bit of an upset. But Allen, I think, has too much depth and too much talent. It's going to be a close game either way. 1-score game. Give me Allen to take it on. On Saturday, you've got Byron Nelson against North Crowley. North Crowley has not played a competitive game in 6 weeks. So can they get hyped up for a team like Byron Nelson, who's going to be throwing the kitchen sink, who's got that legacy? Remember, Byron Nelson is a team that beat South Lake Carroll last year. And we have already had the calibration with North Crowley playing Lancaster a little bit less than you would expect. I think the fact that Byron Nelson has the DBs that can slow down the big play threats like Quentin Griffin is going to give a little bit of an advantage to them, but that just leads Chris Jimerson to run wild. I think that Byron Nelson does not have answers for everything, and that's going to give North Crowley a little bit of a reason to be a favorite. I think it's going to be close for a half, but I think North Crowley will end up winning this game by 21-28 with a late second half surge. We've been waiting for 4-5A versus 3-5A Division II for a while. All of those games are going to be excellent. I think as long as the game stays in the 30s, I like Colleyville Heritage to beat Anna. I think Lovejoy is a favorite over Timberview. I think Walnut Grove is a favorite over Arlington Seguin. And I like Argyle to take care of Emerson. These are 2 teams that have played each other in district the last couple of years, so they're very familiar with each other. But the fact that Lovejoy beat Emerson the way they did, Argyle looks a lot more like Lovejoy than the other teams in the district. I think they've got too much of a defensive presence, and when you're trying to get into a shootout, Argyle is just going to be too good. So look for those. I think we're going to get a split with those 4 teams. I'm the professor, and those are my Week 12 picks.
We caught up to a big-time athlete from the gridiron in this week's Recruiting Trail.
Braden Blueitt, wide receiver. I want to get out there, play at the highest level possible. Want to be able to play immediately or play as soon as possible, but I also want to be able to have a coach and a wide receiver coach that has been there, done that, and one that can teach me and continue to improve my game to get me ready for the highest level possible. So, I feel like with my game, I feel like I can really play wherever as a receiver. I think I can, I'm comfortable lining up in the inside or the outside. I'll go up, I'll make a play on a jump ball. I also think I can get inside, get shifty with a route. Football's always been my number one thing. I've been playing since I could walk, and football's always been my number one sport. I've played basketball, I've played all these other sports, but football's my thing. It's really just it's just fun for me to do. It's something practicing doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like a pain or anything. I enjoy getting out there, playing with my boys, getting better, competing. I'm a real competitive person. I'm just getting out there. I'm gonna have my fun, and I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna try to play for the team. I'll give everything I've got out there, no matter what, and I'm just always there to try to get us the dub. So, I'm graduating here pretty soon. I'm gonna go up to college early, but at this point, so unfortunately my senior season was cut short. So I'm in a time right now where I'm in recovery. So I'm just trying to get me best suited for whenever I get up to college, meet with those trainers, just keep pushing, keep the grind going, so I can be back on that field as soon as possible. So I mean, really, I want my name to be remembered. Like, around here, I want to leave a legacy where like people hear my name and they're like, okay, yeah, he was a great kid.
Cricket Wireless has an offer that's going to blow up your group chat. 4 lines for only $25 per month each with nationwide 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket. Inside High School Sports is brought to you by Golden Chick. One taste and you're golden. And by Kubota, the #1 selling compact tractor in Texas. For details, visit gokubota.com. Kubota, together we do more.
Our producer, Ward Fasold, caught up with Wylie East head coach Marcus Gold to get his opinions on the Raiders' first-round opponent, Forney, in this week's Media Day segment.
All right, we're joined with Wylie East head coach Marcus Gold. And, Coach, that first season's done. You reached goal one, which was to make the postseason, and now the second season begins. How satisfied are you with what way the team is playing right now? I mean, you guys got yourself a home game in the postseason, which is another thing you guys strive for. How excited are you to get this thing started?
Yeah, I mean, it's with this group is, and I tell this group and I tell people all the time, it's a special group. You know, we've been here for 4 years. These guys came in as freshmen. They've invested in a program. They helped build a culture. Several of them started their sophomore year and have won up to 30 games at this point. So I feel confident with this group. There's a lot of experience with this group. I think we're peaking at a really good time. We're taking care of things that we address week in and week out, which is taking care of the ball in the red zone, scoring when you have those opportunities, and consistently on defense giving our offense opportunities to get the ball, and then special teams. When they don't notice your special teams, that's usually a good thing, right? So special teams has held it down all year long. So we're ready to go. We're healthy. We're excited to play Forney in the first round.
Yeah, talking about Forney, you could just have easily have gone into the playoffs on a note where you're playing some of the lower teams in your district, but you get to go into it playing that rivalry game where the whole world is out to see the game, and it's a hard-fought game, so you're not going in sluggish. You're already on a high, and then you got a Forney team that was scrapping for their lives just to get in this joint. They had to score whatever it was, 10 touchdowns in the second half just to make it. Talk about that game and what you need to do to come out on top.
Yeah, well, I think both teams kind of finished the year in a similar sense of being a playoff atmosphere. Wylie High, Wylie East game, there's 8,000 fans there. It's a big time rivalry. It's a fun rivalry to be a part of. It's always going to be a tough, hard battle. You know, I think last year's 66-10 win was kind of an anomaly. You know what I mean? That's not the way the Wylie East, Wylie High games usually go. So we knew it was going to be a tough game. It was going to be a tough battle, and in a sense, having that number 2 seed going into the playoffs was a big deal with Saxe winning the district championship and being able to have an opportunity to host a playoff game. That's what both teams were essentially fighting for. So, and then on the flip side, you have Forney. You know, you're watching those games. We played on a Thursday. We're watching those games on a Friday night. You don't really know who you're playing.
Right.
You know, I know Wylie had 3 different scenarios. We had a couple different scenarios. So, Forney's done a really good job. They've kind of battled through some injury, but don't underestimate them. They were one game away from going to the state championship last year. They returned some really key pieces in that team. They're healthy. They can put up 40 points in a hurry. And so it's going to be a good, hard-fought game in the first round.
Well, this is going to be a fun game Friday night. We're definitely going to have a camera there. I'm excited about it. I'm excited for this next season to start. Coach, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for always having me. Thank you.
Hey, that'll do it for today's show. Thanks for joining us, and we leave you with Professor Diggs' final DFW rankings of the year. Hope you're now warmed up for some Texas high school football playoff action this weekend.